Hi there and welcome to Wagner Academy. This is SAT Math question 83. It says in a certain classroom 3/4 of the students are boys and the ratio of the students who are 14 years or older to the students less than 14 years old is 3:4. If 2/3 of the girls are less than 14 years old, what fraction of the boys, and I think they had a typo there, are, so what fraction of the boys are greater than or equal to 14 years old? Notice it doesn't say exactly how many students we have in this classroom. It just says these certain fractions and ratios. There's a lot going on here. So I think a table is an excellent way to approach this problem, making a table. Yeah, green is fine here. So let's go with, I'm going to have boys in this first column and girls in this second column, and then in the last column it'll be the total or the sum of those things. And then going down here with the rows, in this first row I'm going to have, since it's talking about students less than 14 and then students greater than or equal to 14, I'm going to have those two things in the rows here. And then finally the total down there. I'll move these up just a little ways here. That should be better. Okay, so let's put our labels in here. Let's go with boys, since that's what it's starting out with, telling us 3/4 are boys. We'll go boys, and then the girls, and then the sum over here. And 14 years or older, so greater than or equal to 14 will be this row, less than 14 in this row, and the sum in that row. So let's fill in these blanks with some things that we know. We know 3/4 of the students are boys. So the sum of the boys in terms of a fraction of the portion of the whole class would be 3/4, meaning the girls would be the other portion of the class, the 1/4. Putting them together gives me the whole class, gives me 1. And then we also know that the ratio of students who are 14 years or older to the students less than 14 years old is 3:4. So essentially there's 7 parts to this classroom. 3 of those 7 parts would be students who are 14 years or older, so 3/7 going here, and then 4/7 being less than 14 years old. And it also says, go away there, it also says 2/3 of the girls are less than 14 years old, so we can assume that that is true. So we have 2/3 that are less than 14 years old. So I've got 2/3. What just happened there? Whoa, 2/3 times the 1/4, the 1/4 of the girls in the classroom that are actually the 1/4 of the students in the classroom that are actually girls. That'd be going here. So that would mean we would have the other 1/3 of the girls, of the 1/4, going up there. So from here, let's find out what this equals. 1/3 times 1/4, that would be 1/12. And then same thing here, 2/3 times 1/4, I could say that would be 2/12 or 1/6. Either one of those things would work. If I reduce 2/12, I get 1/6. I know that whatever I have here plus this has to be the sum right there. And I know whatever I have here plus 1/6 has to be this sum right there. So what I'm looking for in the end are the boys, fraction of the boys greater than or equal to 14. So I'm looking for this value. This is my final answer, whatever goes in that spot right there. So if I just take the sum and subtract this value, I'd be left with that value, since this one and this one added together have to give me that value. So let's figure out what that is then. So you've got 3/7, not 37, we've got 3/7 minus 1/12. Need a common denominator to add or subtract fractions, so I could multiply this one by 12/12, this one by 7/7. That would leave me with 36/84 minus 7/84, which would be 29/84. 29 is a prime number, so I couldn't reduce this at all. That would be my answer, and actually my final answer right there. I do want to check and see what this is, though, before I just jump to that final conclusion. So let's figure out what 4/7, this value right here, minus this value is, minus 1/6. Getting a common denominator there, I could multiply by 6 over 6, yielding 24 over 42. I could multiply here by 7 over 7, giving me 7 over 42. And that would be 17 over 42. And that is the same thing as if I multiplied this by 2 over 2 to get something in terms of 84ths. That would be 34 over 84. So I could think of it like that right here, 17 over 42, or I could think of it as 34 over 84. The reason I do that, think of it like that, potentially instead, if I add this and this together, I have a common denominator right there. So 29 over 84 plus 34 over 84, that would equal 63 over 84, which reduced, you could divide by 21 top and bottom, and you'd get 3 over 4, which is exactly what I see right there. That just allowed me to check and feel really confident about my answer up here, because this plus this does actually equal the value I had down there for the sum of the boys. So my final answer, I feel very confident about it now, is choice